The basketball addicts are back at it, and it's basically the Warriors versus everybody. 23 games left, sitting at 54-5. 13 of the remaining teams to play are above 500, which means 10 below. So here's the question that everyone's been asking ever since they started with that super hot streak. Randy, lean back for a sec. Calm down.
I'm excited.
You better.
I'll start with you then.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Let's start with you.
All right.
72,
You got Cowboy.
10.
Yep.
73-9.
Yep.
74-8. What is the end
Matt.
game?
I think it's going to be 74-8.
74-8.
Yeah.
You got them beating the 95-96 Chicago
I
Bulls
do.
to have the greatest record
I
in
do.
sport.
And I think they're inspired to do it at this point. I think,
It's close.
you know, if they hadn't won last year, I think maybe they'd be less concerned about the record this year and more concerned about going into the playoffs healthy. But since they won, they're kind of playing with house money right now. So
gambling.
why not?
Love
Why
it.
not go for it?
I want them to. I'm nervous about the 3 games against the Spurs, a game against the Clippers, and
Clippers
teams
are
like
nothing.
teams like
tell that to the
Minnesota,
Thunder.
like that makes me nervous too. Teams that have nothing to gain or nothing to lose at all, like Minnesota comes in and just balls out one game.
And
against
they've
them.
got
Who
the
knows?
talent to do it, too. I mean,
Right?
I like that Minnesota team.
But I think they still get the record. I think they
Well,
break it.
I mean, the big question is health. And we saw Curry injure himself in the Oklahoma City game on the Saturday, and then he missed the next game. We don't know if he's even
That
going to play
looked worse
tonight.
than it really was. I mean,
For sure,
like,
but he's had the ankle issues before. I mean,
Yeah.
how much do you have to, you want to make sure you clinch first place, so they're going to go all out for that. There's talk of them winning 75 right now. I think they're going to at least tie it at 72, and they probably will break it at 73-9.
So here's another question. Coupling the championship from last season with potentially the greatest single-season record in NBA basketball, does this team go down, Devo Brown, as the greatest team? You like how that works?
This
Yeah, I
works.
did.
Yeah, it works.
Are they I threw myself off
I
with that
know,
great one.
you're
Oh,
so excited
good.
by that, yeah.
But do they go down as the greatest basketball team ever?
Wow, that's a tough one. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a Bulls fan.
Yeah.
Back in the day, of course, a Jordan fan as well. But, yeah, they do. You can't top what they've done this season, even with Steph out of the lineup.
Oh, no,
Actually, you can top it.
Wait,
How?
another great
What
segue
if
by
they-
Devo
what
Brown.
if they don't win?
And
If they
Randy
don't
ruins
win?
it again. Thanks, Randy.
You're welcome.
Devo's setting me up with all these volleys. I'm trying to knock them down. You mentioned the Chicago Bulls, so let's get into it. The 95-96 Bulls versus this team, but even before that, Steph Curry versus the GOAT. Before we even compare the teams, who would you take, 95-96 Michael Jordan or 15-16 Stephen Wardell Curry?
How many minutes did you and Sweets Watson spend debating this in the
Our production
hangout
meetings
room?
vary in between 3 to 4 hours.
This is not a slight on Steph, who I think is the most dynamic and best basketball player in the world today, and eventually will be on the Mount Rushmore.
Dan
But
Gladman's talking to the people.
You don't compare anyone to Mike. You
What
would
do you mean you
always
don't
take
compare
Mike
anyone to
as your
Mike?
first choice in every situation.
I'm
Come
asking
on,
If they're
man.
building a
History
team right
of
now,
I
who
agree.
are you
I
taking?
agree.
You
I
take
agree.
Right
Mike.
now, listen,
Mike.
And it hurts me to say this. It does. I love
Then don't.
Michael Jordan. I will say it, though. Right now, if I am starting a franchise, I want Steph Curry on my team.
Over
Ahead of
Michael
96
Jordan?
Mike?
Listen, Mike has
I love
played.
this
Mike
show.
played.
It's
Mike played 4 minutes
consistency.
more a game.
Yes?
4 minutes a game to do those numbers, which Steph is beating him in slightly. Mike took 240 three-point attempts. Steph's hit almost 300 three-pointers
Although
this game with
Mike
a better
could adjust
percentage.
to the game
I'm
today.
just saying, though, I would choose
if you
Steph
want
Curry.
to justify that, then you got to look at Mike's free throws because he's earning shots all game long.
I'm telling you, right
Randy,
now.
And
Randy,
way
If,
better
if those
defensive
guys go
player.
one-on-one, you'd have like Mike in a one-on-one
I'm
game.
not asking
Not
you
a
if
one-on-one. It's a
one-on-one.
team game.
I'm saying if you
The NBA is
start
not
a team-
one-on-one.
If you start a team today, you got 5 guys versus 5 guys.
Right.
Right? And you got Mike and Steph over there in the corner, and they
Yes.
both want to play.
Yeah.
And they're both waving.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm
Randy,
going to
Mike,
take
you're
the
taking
guy that
Mike.
wants to kill everybody at every moment in every part of the game. The guy that won 6 championships and 6 Finals MVPs. Like until you do it for it's great. Steph, I love
one
Steph.
season, guy. We're
But it's-
basing it on 95-96 and 15-16 because they're both
Mike,
playing an extremely high
Mike,
level. Mike?
Mike, yeah.
Mike, okay. All right, so
The guard of me says Steph. I'm sorry.
okay, so now let's compare
not
teams.
sorry, actually.
Let's compare teams for the 9 billionth time. 95-96 Bulls, 15-16 Warriors. Because this team, let's face it, with Draymond Green, with Klay Thompson, with Barnes, with Iguodala, they're kind of comparable.
I just think that the Bulls would lock him up. I think it would be
Can
close.
you lock up this group?
I think that Michael and Scotty could play better defense than anybody else that's probably
What about
any
Rodman?
twosome in the league right now.
Not only would I take
And
the
Rodman.
96 Bulls still, I would take the 87 Lakers
Wow.
and the 86 Celtics. I'm
See,
still not ready to put the
And
Warriors
you're not
ahead
ready.
of those
You're not ready
teams.
because it's not history yet. You got to look at it as this is happening right now. Yeah, the stuff you're comparing, you've seen it, and you've seen other teams after that. In 5 years, you're going to be like, dang, I would take the 15-16 Warriors
Yes.
over that squad.
Oh, I would.
Dang,
right?
Daniel.
That's you would
No,
say.
because
exactly.
you guys
Dan,
didn't
Dan,
watch them.
back
You
at it
guys
again
didn't
with those
see the 86
87
Celtics,
Lakers.
So you don't know. You only know what you see today.
And last season.
Hey, okay, time
And
out.
what I see
Pause.
today, I
20.
love.
Is Steph Curry the greatest shooter of all time?
Yes.
Dan
Yes.
Gladman.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go. Moving on to the next question. That was.
I've been saying that for
I'd
3
right,
still
years.
take Mike.
It
but
looks
Steph's
like
a
me
better
and
shooter.
Sweets need to spend more time in this production meeting then. No, but here we go. Here's the next question. Oscar Robertson, Phil Jackson, like a lot of folks have come out and said some interesting things about your boy, Stephen Wardell Curry. Are we surprised at how he's been attacked by the old guard? Or is this to be expected when someone begins to revolutionize a game that people are very familiar with? Devo Brown, since you're the only one spitting any sense on this couch this entire segment.
I think anytime you change the game from that old setting, you are going to get criticized. And he's flashy about the way he plays. He's loose. So there's, as much as he's fundamental, there's also a lack of fundamentals at the same time. There's a little bit of playground thrown in there. And the old guards, they're just like, okay, come on, dude.
Yeah.
But he's making shots that are.
But let's talk about them, though. Isn't it kind of disappointing? I think that the modern NBA journalist has gone out of its way to pay tribute to Oscar Robertson. You talk about last year when all those triple-doubles were being
That's
reported.
absolutely
All you
true.
heard was
Sour
Oscar
grapes.
Robertson.
Right.
It's sour
right,
grapes because
right.
they didn't get
Good
that,
point.
that kind of attention. I mean, Oscar Robertson, rightfully so, is considered one of the best to ever play basketball at his position. I was really surprised to hear it, but I've heard it from Isaiah Thomas as well. That there's this old school disregard for the way the game is played today with the shooting, with the three-point shots, and the lack of kind of defense up top. And, you know, that it's just sour grapes. The game changed for them as well.
I actually watched when he hit 12 of 16, the threes. I watched the montage of every one of those threes, and maybe you could be up on him a little tighter, but most likely not.
No,
They were tough
I mean,
shots.
He gets guarded.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
argument that there's no
Guarded.
defense being played
And
on
he would
Steph
have
Curry
found the open
is-
man if he couldn't get
it-
the shot
right.
off.
It's a moot
He's an
point. It's a
incredible
moot point.
player.
Also, what's wrong with Phil Jackson? Like, he shouldn't be saying anything. Get the Knicks straight. Still more to come here on Canada's home for Talking Hoops. We're not going to talk about it any further than this, but we're going to show it to you. I mean, honestly, this is madness. The owner of the Clippers almost blew out his knee on this dunk. So sad. So is that mascot. We'll be back more. Hang on!